Gamba means warrior. Barutti means teacher. And since my mother was a teacher, my father was a teacher, and that's what I've found myself doing. My name is Terry Gamba Barutti from San Francisco, California, born and raised out here. I do capoeira Angola. I teach Congolese drumming. I teach one hop kwendo kung fu, urban street self-defense. I play reggae music. Fillmore's changed a lot over the years from when I was a teenager. This area was pretty vibrant back in that day, you know. A lot of things going on, a lot of culture was out here at that time. You know, Fillmore still has some of the institutions that are left, like Marcus Bookstore, the Culture Center, African American Culture Center, Ella Hill Huts, and, you know, they come down, get something to eat, you know, on Fillmore Street, because we had a lot of nice little black-owned restaurants. Jones Methodist Church, this was a good place. We had a lot of fun. You know, they used to have a church basketball league. Everybody could have come from different schools, but you play for the same church team. So maybe you play against each other in high school, but according to whatever church you go to, you play for the same church team. So that made it kind of tight. Well, I decided I wanted something more than that, something that's going to last longer, that's not only based upon competition, how well you can compete if you win or lose. I wanted something more holistic. And when I first saw capoeira, was in a documentary. I was around 18, I think. And they were in Brazil, in Bahia and Rio de Janeiro. And they did a little short excerpt about capoeira. That answered some questions that I had, because I felt deep down inside that, me knowing that I came from, you know, my origins are from the continent of Africa. And I know that the fighting arts were there too. From the very first time I saw that, I wanted to learn this art. I didn't know anything about, should I do that or shouldn't I do that? I was just thirsty to learn something that has to do with my lineage. When I started training, my first initial time saying, I want to go and try to learn this. I came in completely as just a beginner, knowing nothing. I just saw that it was skillful, highly skillful. My school, the Costco's, you know, from Grandmaster Al DeCasco's lineage. Nothing was a formal class, it was a family thing. We look out for each other. We rooted for each other like family. And win or lose, we always left winners because we left a family. And that was the highest order. And I think that shaped that school. That's why it was good, you know, because I was so busy learning something. It was so different in sports, you know. It was so internal, because, you know, what you put in is what you get out. I have a class here at the gallery twice a week, and we were teaching urban street survival. It's a workshop. Basically, self-defense awareness for the street. Like, what do we need to be aware of in the streets? When school starts, then I'll be working also in some of the schools. I'm training every day. I move around every day. Okay, the term master doesn't mean that you know everything. What it means is that you've committed your life and you have been able to reach a certain level of your training. I've been training in the arts for over 36 years now. If I am with somebody who's been training for 60 years, because no matter how much that 36-year-old knows, they could be one of the most brilliant genius on earth, but they can't tell you what it's like to live 60 years. You have to always find ways to keep yourself going, keep your art growing. The greatest fulfillment that a teacher could have is when you see the results of your teaching. If you're fortunate enough to be able to also teach your own family, that's a principle in the African system. And I believe it's a principle in any indigenous people on this earth, is to pass down the knowledge to your youth and your people. If I don't have a dime in my pocket, I have my nephew, and he's glowing and he's growing and he's learned from some of what I taught him. Now, I haven't done it all, but he's got something out of that. To me, I mean, that's the greatest tribute that a teacher could have. When other people come and say, wow, man, your family, they got a lot of respect for what they do, You're gonna take that to the grave with you. Everything I have here is not going with me, Whatever, if I got $1 million in my pocket right now, it's not gonna go with me, but this will. Get too emotional now? Okay. All right. Okay, man. Yeah, man, it's kind of.